Pantra or pang-tricycle are literally just standard-style motorcycles na merong abang pang-sidecar. Katulad ko ba kayo na nag-iisip na what if magpantra ako tapos touring concept? Well, liga dito at pag-usapan natin yung pangarap na yan. Welcome back or to VP Media. And today pag-uusapan natin kung pwede nga ba at paano nga ba magiging pang-touring ang isang pantra na motor. So before we start, let's ask ourselves, why Pantra? Or bakit nga ba tayo magsa-standard or Pantra motorcycles? Well, to begin with, Pantra motorcycles are everywhere here in our country. So sa Pilipinas talagang kahit anong barangay, mayroong tricycle at mayroong shop na pang Pantra. So alam na natin na kahit saan meron yan and it's widely available. That's it. Okay? So with that said, let's do some pros and cons. Okay? So let's start with the pros. Number 1, we have here, subok na matibay. Okay? Ang Pantra ay ginawa para maging business assets, kaya ginawa ito ng mga manufacturers para maging matibay at maaasahan. Number 2, maraming piyesa. Alam naman natin na kahit sa ang usulok ng Pilipinas ay may tricycle at kapag may trike na nangangailangan ng spare parts, siguradong may shop. Kaya sigurado tayong kahit saan tayo magpuntang lugar o bayan, ay may piyesa tayong makukuhaan. Number 3 is murang maintenance at dahil ginawa ang Pantra pang business at para sa masa, mura lang din ang maintenance nito. Langis at kadalasan ay wala pang oil filter. Murang set ng mga stock na kadena at sprocket pati na rin ang bearing. And number 4 is lightweight. Ito na sigurong isa sa pinakamahalagang aspeto na kailangan mong i-consider kapag magbibuild ka ng isang touring bike. You really need a lightweight motorcycle para hindi taxing o nakakapagod sa katawan ang long drive. At kung sakaling sumemplang or tumawag tayo, madali natin mababawi or maiaangat dahil magaang ang motor natin. And last for the pros probably is fuel efficient. So matipid siya sa gas at dahil nga gawa ito pang business, manufacturers made it a point that it has enough power while saving a lot of fuel. So mas malayo yung mararating natin sa Pantra natin. Now, hindi perpektong motor o hindi perpektong platform ang Pantra. Meron din namang kahinaan or cons. Number 1 is the non-existent top speed. Okay? By default or out of the box, ang mga Pantra ay sagana sa hatak or torque. Pwede mo naman tong baguhin kapag binabago mo yung sprocket set. So pag nag-focus ka ng dulo instead of hatak. Pero hihina ang hatak mo kapag pinrioritize mo ang dulo or which is top speed. Sa pang-touring, hindi mo naman kailangan maghahataw. So, okay na din siguro kung ang goal mo lang is makaabot ng 80 to 90 km per hour na touring speed, hindi top speed. Now, you could go lower, maybe 60 to 80. But, ako kasi gusto ko ng 80 to 90. Yung 80 to 90 na hindi pagod. Yung hindi masyado nag-exert ng effort. So, I would rather have yung hatak over top speed. Next would be styling. Now, I simply believe na ang styling preferences natin ay subjective. Pero, objectively, Pantra motorcycles have less styling cues than actual adventure bikes. Pero okay lang yon. Kaya nga mas mura and mas magaang ang Pantra kasi walang sobrang plastic parts. Yun lang naman din. And mas marami din naman na gusto rin ang classic standard design over stylistic, futuristic, or rugged design ng mga adventure or dual sport bikes. Next, it is low displacement. Usually, Pantra motorcycles starts at 100cc and ends at 180 to 186cc. And kahit 175 or 180cc, low power pa rin ito and nasa around 12 to 15 horsepower lang din ang maximum power output. But believe me, may aakyat kayo nito sa highest point ng Pilipinas, albeit slow, pero makakarating pa rin. Yun lang naman ang punto. From point A to point B safely and fuel efficiently. And also, isama na natin sa low displacement, hindi kayo makakapag-expressway. But then again, kahit hindi kayo makapag-expressway, okay lang yon. Kahit magbayan-bayan kayo, hindi nakakapagod dalhin ng Pantra dahil maliit, magaang, and it's fuel efficient. So it makes up with, with the highway riding. Now that we have discussed some pros and cons, let's move on to the actual list. But we're gonna start with the non-Big 4, yung hindi Big 4, yung Yamaha, Kawasaki, Honda, and Suzuki models. Alright? I'm gonna lump them together because they all have the same reliability, they all have almost the same parts and performance. Also, yung presyo nila is magkakadikit lang din, okay? So, I'm just gonna put them all together for the sake of time din naman. Okay? Now, let's start from Rusi. We have the TC Macho 125, 150, and 175. For the Skygo Wizard, we have the 125, 150, 175. And the Euro Daang Hari 186. These bikes usually nasa 40 to 50k and are dependable enough. Marami pa rin namang nasa daan na, or rather, kahit sa barangay ninyo, for sure, meron dyan na hindi Big 4 or that belongs to one of these three manufacturers. And I'm for sure, meron makikita kayong Rusi dyan. Parts, they actually share some parts from the Big 4, especially Rusi. Marami silang kasukat sa TMX na Alpha, or yeah, yung 125. Marami silang kasukat doon, yung bearing and clutches. So these are the non-Big 4 offerings. They range from 40 to 69,000 Philippine pesos, brand new, and will do the job, but will always have an asterisk on their reliability. Now here's the thing. I do not believe that they are not reliable. Marami talaga tayong Rusi. Ako, more of Rusi talaga ako. Marami tayong makikita dyan sa daan na Rusi, and marami din silang kasukat. Okay? So marami nagtatanong, China bike, blah blah blah, walang pyesa yan. No, hindi na mahirap maghanap ngayon ng pyesa ng mga China bikes kasi most of the time, kasukat talaga nila yung mga nasa Big 4. Alright? So moving on. So opening the Big 4, we have the Yamaha YTX 125, priced at or starts at 57,900 Philippine pesos. Ang Yamaha YTX 125 ay isang budget-friendly na motor. Okay? It features a 125cc air-cooled single-cylinder engine that produces 8.2 horsepower and 10.2 Nm of torque, paired with a 4-speed manual transmission. The YTX boasts a very simple design, pero maangas pa rin, with a comfortable riding position and basic instrument panel. Okay, so meron itong 7.6 liters of fuel tank capacity, and yung total na bigat niya is 114 kilograms lang. The YTX 125 is known for its fuel efficiency, reaching a mileage of 70 to 80 kilometers per liter. This is what I'm telling you guys, okay? It has a top speed of around 85 kilometers an hour and priced at or starts at 57,900 Philippine pesos at the time that the video was written. Now, sikat ang YTX 125 pang tricycle talaga. Maraming gumagamit ito. Although, marami din talagang gumagamit nito pang touring kasi madaling bihisan ang YTX 125. It's very simple looking, but yet it is a very good base bike. Now, if I'm gonna build the YTX 125, I would palalaking ko ng onti yung gulong, pero not that much. Siguro palalaking ko lang kung hanggang 120 yung gulong sa likod and then mga 90 pa rin yung sa harap. Kasi kapag pinalaki nyo pa ng sobra yung gulong, kukupad lalo. Also 4-speed transmission, so meaning medyo mabibitin tayo sa duluhan. But it doesn't matter, it's alright. Touring naman tayo. And look at the mileage or yung fuel efficiency niya. It's 70 to 80 kilometers an hour. This is a very good platform to start with and sobrang mura niya. Okay? So this is a very good pick. If I were you guys, you should check out a lot of reviews before you get into one. Pero we're gonna share on the description some videos so that you can check them out. Hindi na kayo masyadong maghahanap pa. Alright? So, let's move on to the next one. Now, let's talk about the Kawasaki Bajaj CT100, CT125, and the CT150. The prices are going to be shown on the screen. And also, we're just going to talk about the CT150 because this is the highest tier and this is my best pick for touring. Okay, pwede pa rin naman kayo mag-100, mag-125, but then again, I'm gonna talk about only the 150 kasi ito yung mas, sa tingin ko, mas okay talagang pan-touring. Okay? So, ang Bajaj CT150, budget-friendly, and it features a 144.8cc air-cooled single-cylinder engine that produces 11.84 horsepower and 12.25 Nm of torque paired with a 5-speed manual transmission. Now, rugged ang design nito pero pogi pa rin with a comfortable riding position with the basic instrument panel. So basic lang yung instrument panel but it works really well even at night. So it features a telescopic front fork suspension, swing arm rear suspension, quad shock pa nga, with a 5-step preload adjustment and drum brakes on both wheels. It has a fuel tank capacity of 11 liters and walang likido, walang gas. Ang bigat nito is 122 kilograms. So pag nilagyan pa natin ng gas, siguro magiging 125 to 127 kilograms. The CT150 is known for its fuel efficiency reaching for around 53 kilometers per liter. It has a top speed of around 100 kilometers an hour and priced at 67,500 Philippine pesos. Now, sobrang tipid nito. And you might be thinking, is this really Kawasaki? This is purely Bajaj. Kawasaki lang ang nag-distribute. But then again, Kawasaki din ang may handle ng mga piyesa nito. And never naman ako nagka-problema sa parts. Kasi ako nakaka-Kawasaki Bajaj din ako. Although not CT, nakaka-Kawasaki Bajaj ako. Nag-Rouser ako before and naka-Dominar ako right now. Never naman ako nagkaroon ng problema. But maraming nagsasabi na itong mga CT daw is medyo mahirap hanapan ng stator or ng segunyal or whatever. Pero may mga kasukat din naman siya. Ang alam ko, ang kasukat ng stator ng CT is around parang TMX 150 ata. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. Alright, so this is a very good pick. Ako is a very good pick kasi yung bagong CT150, it also has USB charging ports, and then by default kasi out of the box ang sprocket ng CT150 pang solo or pang single, yung pang touring. So kapag magta-tricycle ka, mas maigi na palitan mo siya ng sprocket set, dagdagan mo yung ngipin. I believe, I could be wrong, Editor Julius just put out here on the screen kung alin yung mas okay, panghatak, dagdag ngipin or bawas ngipin sa harap. It depends, pero again, the CT150 by default or out of the box, pag binili mo siya, pang touring ang sprocket set niya. So kailangan mo pang palitan. Kaya nagkakaproblema yung ibang pinanta-tricycle to. Sasabi nila nasisira agad yung makina kasi nga persado. Kasi ewan ko, hindi rin sinabi ng mga dealership na sprocket set nila is by default touring. But then again, that's good kung gagamitin lang naman natin siya pang touring. Okay din yung kilometers per liter, yung fuel efficiency niya. Although mas matipid yung yung YTX, pero kasi mas mataas ang power output ito. So nasa 8 point something yon, ito naman nasa 11 or almost 12 horsepower na. I have more faith. Ako kasi, mas gusto ko na 12 horsepower. Pag naka 12 horsepower ka na kasi, mas maiikot. Literal na kahit buong Pilipinas ikutin mo, maaabot mo. Makakaakyat kayo ng Benguet and everything. Pero I know for a fact na may mga 125cc na nakakaakyat ng Baguio or yung highest point or highest peak natin dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? But it's just my opinion, 12 horsepower is the sweet spot for fuel efficiency and hatak basta dito sa Pilipinas. Alright? So let's move on to the next one. Up next, we have from Honda, we have the TMX Alpha 125 and the TMX Supremo 150. The Honda Alpha 125 and the Supremo 150 are popular choices para sa ating mga nagtitipid dito sa Pilipinas. Hindi lang pang tricycle, pati na rin yung mga pang araw-araw or daily motorcycles natin. Offering a reliable and fuel-efficient transportation, the Alpha 125 is priced at 56,900 Philippine pesos, while it features a 125cc air-cooled single-cylinder engine with an overhead valve design known for its durability and fuel efficiency. The Alpha 125 is a classic design. So ito yung maganda sa Alpha. Nung nirelease siya out of the box, ang ganda agad ng shape ng tanke. This is a very big development from the old 125. It has a very comfortable riding position, so standard upright, and a basic instrument panel. It also features meron siyang telescopic front fork suspension, swing arm with quad shocks, and dual drum brakes on both wheels, front and rear. It has a 5-speed transmission that provides a smooth ride. While 18-inch wheels offer extra protection against potholes, the Alpha 125 is known for being matipid. Okay? So reaching around a mileage of 62.5 kilometers per liter at a cruising speed of 45 kilometers an hour. So medyo mabagal, but then again, kung magtuturing ka naman, kailangan mo ng tipid sa gas, ito na yun. Okay? Moving forward with the Honda Supremo 150 priced at 69,990 Philippine pesos. So mas malakas to and mas marami rin siyang features compared to the Alpha 125. It features a 149.2 air-cooled single-cylinder engine with an overhead camshaft design, delivering more power and torque. So mas malakas siya, literal. The Supremo 150 boasts a more modern design with a sleek fuel tank and a dual flat seat. So mas modern yung design niya, mas bilugan, hindi siya classic like the 125. And meron siyang illuminated instrument panel that includes, meron siyang tachometer, gear shift indicators. So mahalaga na meron tayong gear shift indicator kasi kapag newbie ka, minsan di mo matandaan kung anong gear ka na and everything. So maganda ito para sa inyo kasi makikita nyo kung anong gear ninyo na. It also features a factory installed 3-point sidecar attachment. So pag napagod nyo na mag-touring, lagyan mo sidecar, no problem. Making it suitable for tricycle use. The Supremo 150 maintains its fuel efficiency of around 62 kilometers per liter and it is equipped with an electric starter with choke control, a key shutter, and an integrated handlebar lock for added security. Now, our editor Julius will show the exact figures of power ng Honda Supremo versus the Honda TMX Alpha 125. If it were me, mag-Honda Supremo ako. But, according to my mechanic, may binulong siya sa akin lately kasi I really expressed, sabi ko gusto ko mag-Supremo. He said na the newer Supremos have this certain bug na parang bigla na lang daw titigil, bigla na lang di gagana. So, I'm not really sure with that, but I'm just throwing it out there na sometimes may ganon. Now, I don't know how reliable is that information, but maybe you guys could testament to how yung mga bagong Supremo works. But I know for a fact that there are Supremos out there na matagal na, mga more than 8 years. So I don't know how true that is. Okay? So again, ang malaking pinagkaiba ng dalawa na to, yung 125 is a classic design and then yung 150 naman is a more modern look and sleek design. So mas bilugan, mas smooth. Pero kung classic lover ka, doon ka na sa 125. Matipid din naman. I saw a Facebook post na nag-Philippine loop ata siya or nag-Philippine from Luzon to Mindanao. Nag-ano lang siya, Honda 125 lang siya. Ito raw pinili niya kasi matipid din maraming piyesa, which is true. Ito talaga ang isa sa pinakamaraming piyesa na platform sa buong Pilipinas. Biruin mo yung mga Rusi, ang sukat ng clutch nila is sa mga Honda. Okay, so moving forward, let's move on to Kawasaki Barako. Now, the Kawasaki Barako 175 is priced at 90,000 Philippine pesos. Ang Kawasaki Barako 175 features a single-cylinder 4-stroke air-cooled single overhead cab design that has a displacement of actually 177cc and it has a maximum power of 13.54 horsepower at 8,000 RPM and 13.7 Nm of torque at 6,000 RPM. Now, yung pinakabagong Barako is fuel injected, so mas matipid na siya sa gas, although it only has a 4-speed manual. Starting options are kick and electric. So meron siyang kick, meron siyang electric. It has a 12-liter fuel tank, chain drive siya. The ground clearance is around 140mm, wheelbase of 1250, and the front brake is drum. The frame type is semi-double cradle, and it has a larger rear sprocket from the old one, a new instrumentation panel, and a hazard light function. So the Barako 3 has been upgraded with fuel injection technology, making it more fuel efficient and stable. So mas okay na talaga siya. It features a larger rear sprocket for better pulling power, especially when used with a sidecar. Now, may sidecar o wala, malakas ang Barako. Marami talagang pumipili ng Barako. And also, I inquired about this. So, tinanong ko yung mekaniko ko. Sabi ko, pag nagbarako ba ako, mabibitin ako. Sabi niya, kahit 4th gear lang yon, ayusin lang natin yung setting ng sprocket mo. Pwede na siyang itouring, pwede na siyang mag-top speed. Pero sabi ko, siguro, kaya ba natin lagyan ng dalawa pang extra gear ang Barako? Sabi niya pwede. Bibili tayo ng lumang eliminator engine, yung mga 300 250cc or kahit yung mga basta lumang eliminator. Yun daw ang pwedeng ilagay sa Barako para maging 6-speed siya. Sabi ng mekaniko ko, he has done it before and then he can do it again, sabi niya. So tinanong ko, magkano naman aabutin nun? Sabi niya, aabutin ka siguro ng 20 to 30k para dun sa transmission, kasi hindi mo naman mabibili yung transmission lang, bibili mo yung makina mismo and then ililipat mo sa Barako. That's what he said. So syempre yung labor blah blah blah, so abutin around 50 to 70k yung operation if ever. Now the Barako itself, I don't know, wala na akong masasabi dito. Ito na yun eh. The Barako is the end all and be all ng lahat ng motor, or rather lahat ng pan-tricycle sa Pilipinas. Lahat ng bayan na paakyat, lahat ng bayan na maraming ahon, makikita ninyo Barako lang ang motor nila, kasi ito talaga yung pinakamalakas ang hatak. Ito na rin yung may pinaka matibay na platform na makina, kaya ito talaga yung pinipili nila. Imagine niyo kayo pang tuturing nyo lang din siya, yung pataglag. Sobrang tipid din neto cigars if ever. Kasi hindi ka naman masyado mag-ahon. So again, out of the box by default, hindi siya ganun ka taas ang top speed. Kasi nga ang focus talaga naman neto. Baliktad sila ng CT. Ang CT 150 na Bajaj, ang focus niya single or touring. Ito naman, kapag nakuha mo, ang focus niya hatak agad or pang tricycle agad. So papalitan mo yung sprocket set mo. Papakita ni Editor Julius yung magandang configuration for touring, kung ano yung dadagdagan, ano yung babawasan, para maging efficient din siya pang touring. Kasi mamaya panihatak, kailangan mo na palang umabot ng 80 to 70. Pigang-piga ka na, sayang gasolina, di ba? So magre-research kami and we're gonna show you on the screen kung ano yung magandang sprocket set ng Barako pang touring. Alright? So that is it for the Pantra list. So maikling video lang to, I know, but it's alright. Ganun talaga. And again, maraming magandang reasons kung bakit Pantra ang magandang panturing or pwede nyong piliing panturing. Okay? So pag hindi sa isa natin yung haba pa to, but then again, believe me when I say, it is a very good base bike. Marami kayo pwedeng gawin, marami kayo pwedeng ilagay, pwede kayo magbawas, pero mostly maglagay kasi it is almost a tabula rasa, a blank slate. Okay? So, kung gusto nyo siyang gawin touring, pwede. Gusto nyo gawin drag, pwede. Kung gusto nyo pang concept yun ng Thai, Malaysian, or whatever, pwede pa rin. Kung pang bihis lang, no problem. Kayang-kaya ng Pantra. This is a very versatile platform and I aim to own one someday. Sadly, wala nang offering ang Suzuki sa Pantra side. I think tinry pa nilang i-revive yung Suzuki X4 nila. Lumabas yun as a yellow variant, tapos medyo bilugan din, curvy in design. So it looks like it came out from the 70s. It came from the 70s. Pero 4-stroke na yon, sayang hindi rin siya pumatok. But I wish Suzuki would try it one more time. Give the Suzuki X4 one more chance. I believe kikita pa rin naman. Now that is it for the Pantra motorcycles for touring. We're gonna redo some of the videos that we released from the last year. This is part 1 of them. So, nagta-taglish tayo. Kasi sinadjust naman ng audience, sinadjust ninyo na mag-taglish. So, here we go. Okay? So, this is first of many. Alright? I'll see you guys. Oh, don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Alright? Ciao. Commercial model ka raw. Paano mo i-endorse yung ano mo?
Ano ba yung video?